Hi guys, welcome back to Sitn'Crochet. If you're new to the channel, click on that subscribe button because you don't want to miss out on what's to come. Today's tutorial is this super easy crochet backpack and we have a written pattern available. Be sure to check that out. The materials you need are your stitch marker, crochet hook, yarn and measuring tape. Let's get into it. Grabbing your 6mm hook and your t-shirt yarn or the yarn of your choice. You're gonna make a slip knot. Then you're gonna make a chain of 10. To make a chain, all you're doing is yarning over, pulling through the loop. You're gonna yarn over and pull your yarn through that loop. Again, yarn over and pull your yarn through the loop. You're gonna do that for a total of 10 times. After making a chain of 10, you're gonna chain one, block off that chain you just made, chain one to begin. Into the chain that you blocked off, you will place a single crochet. Place a single crochet, all you do is find your next chain, insert your hook, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, and now you've got 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over and you will pull through 2. To do that again, you'll find your next chain, insert your hook, pull up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through both 2. You're gonna go on doing this all the way to the end. So once you've reached the end of the row, what you're gonna do now is chain 1. Just like that. You turn your work over. To begin row 2, you're gonna go on placing a single crochet. So the first single crochet we'll place will be right in there. So you insert your hook, pull up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. You're gonna do that all the way to the end of the row. Once you reach the end of the row, you chain 1, turn and work back and forth until you have a total of 7 inches. I'm gonna do that off camera and I'll meet you once I have my 7 inches. So I've just finished my 7 inches and now what I'm about to do is go around the whole thing, placing a single crochet all the way around. So I've already done my chain 1 and we're gonna start with this side and we're gonna make sure we end right here. So this might be the perfect time to grab a stitch marker just so you know you've reached where you started. Alright, so now I'm gonna just go around placing a single crochet into every single crochet row, and I'm gonna start with this one right here, the very corner. It's gonna be a bit hard to see, but once you get the hang of it, it should be very easy. And right in there, the next one. So you're gonna go on doing this all the way around and I'll meet you once I have reached the stitch marker and I'll give you instructions on how to go from here on. So I have just reached where I placed my stitch marker. I've gone around with 1 row of single crochets. So around now you should notice that your work is starting to kind of curve up, especially on the corners. We're not going to chain 1. So where I removed my stitch marker, I'm just going to place it in there again. And all we're going to do is go around placing this single crochets, and this is going to be the body of our bag. I'm just going to do this for about 2 or 3 rows because I'm about to run out of this color, and then I will change to a different color. So you go around for however many number. If you want your work to be one color, you can go on with that very color. But if you want to do what I'm doing, I'm going to go around with about 3 rows of this gray. So I'll meet you once I'm done with those 3 rows. So I've gone around for 4 rows, which gave me a total of 2 inches. So now it's time to change my color since I have run out of this yarn. So I'm gonna bring in my blue, and to connect, I'm just gonna make quite a bit of a long tail on this side. Of course, I'm gonna work over it, or I can just leave it inside the bag and I can snip it off at the end. So I'm gonna find my next stitch and start my hook. Grab the blue yarn, pull it through like I'm working a normal single crochet, and I've left the tail on the inside, and I'm just gonna grab the rest of it and make a single crochet. You can pull on the one inside just to tighten it up a bit, just like that. And then for the rest of the row, you're gonna continue working your single crochets in the new color as you have been doing the whole time. So depending on how long you want the bag to be, that's how long you're gonna work your rows. I'm gonna go on for about 7 inches again, 7 to 8 inches, and all I'm gonna be doing is going around in circles as we've been doing the whole time. Once I reach the stitch mark, I'll just remove it and put it back in. This is just gonna help me keep count to know that I've made it around an entire row. So I'll meet you once I have gotten 7 to 8 inches of blue. So I have just completed my 8 inches of the bag, and now it's time to make that little flap that falls to the front. So you're gonna put this aside, you're gonna cut off your yarn as I did with mine. We'll weave it in at the end, and you're gonna grab another strand so that we can get started on the strap. Grabbing the yarn that you're gonna use, you're gonna make a slip knot. And chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Blocking that last chain, you're gonna do an extra chain of 1, just like that, and then you're gonna go down with the row of single crochets. I am using 2 strands of yarn just to make my yarn thicker. It's a bit challenging, so sometimes you slip into 2 strands by accident. Alright, so I have got 2 more chains to work into. And into that very last one, you're gonna place 5 single crochets. So it's a good idea to make them slightly loose. So that's 1. That's 2. 3. 4. Hold on. And oh, sorry. I'm working over the tail, by the way. This is the last one. And 5. So reaching this far, you're gonna notice that your work is starting to curve a bit on the other side, and that's what we want. So you should have 5 stitches left on this side, and still working on top of the tail. We'll place the single crochet on the other side. You have to look pretty carefully to notice them, but they're really these strands right here. That's what those are chains just on the other side of the previous chains that we made. So you're gonna go into those, still placing your single crochets. There we go. Sorry, hold on, let me do that again. And I've got one more. Pull up my yarn. And then I would chain 1 and turn my work. So this would be a great time to find a stitch marker. So since we increased in the 5th stitch when we were coming from this side, and then we worked into 5 normal single crochets, we're going to maintain those 5 and 4 from this side. The ones in between are the ones that we're going to be doing the increases into. So let's work together the first row. You're going to first place your first single crochet in there. Just like that, and into the next 4. You want to put the stitch marker there just so it doesn't confuse you. 2 more. And into the stitch marker. So right after, you want to make sure you put it back in so you don't get confused. And now is where we start to continue with the increase. So into the next few chains, leaving 4. I mean, it's great to have 2 stitch markers because you want to make sure you've got stitch marker into the 4th so that you know where you stopped in the decreases. You're going to insert 2 single crochets into each, leaving the last 4 on this side. One, 2, find your next, this one for me. That's 1, right into there. A second one, find your next, this one for me. 1, right into the same place. A second one, and finding your next. 1. Oh, let me fix my yarn. And 2. So you want to make sure you've got 4 left. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 1 more place to do my increase, which is right in here. 1 and 2. So right into the remaining ones, these ones, I'm just gonna go in with normal 1 single crochets. When I reach the end, I'll chain 1, turn, go into single crochet into the next 4, placing 1 single crochet, and then into the very first one right here, I'll do 2 single crochets, and then 1, and then 2 single crochets, and then 1, and then 2 single crochets, and then 1. I'll alternate like that. Once I reach here, I'll place 1 single crochet going all the way down, chain 1, go back with 1 single crochet. The next row, I'll place 2 single crochets, skip 2, and into the third, 2 single crochets, skip 2, and then into the third. The other row, you increase, skip 3 into the fourth, skip 3 until you have the desired length. So following those instructions, this is what your work should look like. I've got 6 inches. And what we're going to do now, we're going to connect this onto our bag. After I finished my work, I ended on this side. I just went over the top with a row of single crochet, which is going to make it easier for us to seam onto the bag. Now you're going to grab your needle and you're going to put your yarn onto your needle, because now we're about to connect the cover and the bag. So you want to first of all allocate where you want it to be. I have already folded mine in like that from the centers, from the sides, and now I know that I want my bag to be, my cover to be somewhere around here. So now to connect, I'm going to connect my yarn right in there, into the front loop only, and I will find the front loop of this side, just like that. And I will pull my yarn through. I should believe this strand should be enough. And then I will go in from the back of this and connect to the back of this. Just like that. And we're just gonna alternate like that. Making sure you're pulling on nice and tightly. So you're gonna go on to do that, and I will finish off the rest of camera, and then we'll come back to learn how to make the handles. So you go on and finish doing this real quick. To work on the straps, you're gonna make a slip knot and chain 6. So we're gonna make a long chain that's gonna be about 46 inches. If you want yours longer, go ahead and make it longer, but we're gonna make it 46. It's gonna comprise of the whole strap that's gonna go from here to here, and then the little loop and the rest of the strap. So if you want yours to be a bit longer, go on and do that. Now, beginning the first row, skipping the loop from just after the hook, you're gonna go into the next one with a single crochet. And for the whole strap, that's all we're gonna do, working single crochets. Oops, hold on, sorry. There we go. Once you reach the end, chain 1, turn, and continue. Working your single crochets. Just like that. And you're gonna go on doing this until you have a total of 46 inches. So you go on, get your 46 inches, and I will meet you back once I have my 46 inches. So I reached the end of the line. Now I'm going to start on the second line, which is right here for me. And if you look clearly, you won't even see that it's been sewn in because the colors will just merge in together just so nicely and so simply and so beautifully. And once you're done, just like that, all secured nice and strong, you're gonna grab your scissors and from the inside, I'll cut the yarn. Not too close, you want to keep some space in so you can just tie it to make sure it's absolutely secured. So now once that is done, you want to come into the top. So you remember how many inches that you saved for the strap and you want to measure up just that many. So I did 20 inches for the straps. It's about 6 to 10 for the little loop out here and another 20. So this is about here for me. So since we connected our strap like so, you want to take it nice and straight and you want to make sure this isn't like this, but rather it folds in towards you like this because we want it to look like this. I've already done this side, by the way, but once we do this side together, it's going to be easier for you to do the other side by yourself. So I'm going to allocate the area, this right here, this little, the space right here, and I'm going to find where I want it to lay, which is right here, as I did with the other one on this side. So I'm going to place it right here and grabbing my needle. Again, we'll start from the inside. And through, just like you're sewing a garment. Inside and out. Inside. And for this row, you want to go through it twice. just to make sure it's absolutely secured and strong. And as you can see, I'm actually pulling onto this so much. And then I can cut this off. And for these two strands, if you want, just tie them together, just so you're sure that they are absolutely secure. Grab your scissors, snip it off, just like that. And right here, if you want, you can put a button or that little magnet thing just to make sure the bag closes very nice and very well. And this is what your bag should look like, making sure you do the very same thing to the other side, and it should be nice and complete. Thank you so much for sticking around, guys, and I hope you subscribed. Bye.